You're listening to WIDR Kalamazoo. And this is Wombat Music taking you through the rabbit hole with...
We're Fake Baseball.
We're Fake Baseball. Thanks so much for having us, Maya.
Yeah, we're pumped to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this that we're able to finally make this happen. I know the weather's been constantly getting in our way.
Yeah,
True.
this is our third attempt to actually do this. Am I mistaken with that?
No, that's the third attempt.
It's been weather
Arctic
or
blast.
illness.
Yeah.
But happy to be here now at least.
Yeah.
Third time's the charm. We there was so much anticipation leading up to it. So, yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about who is Fake Baseball?
Sure. My name's Maggie Heron. Fake Baseball kind of started as my capstone project back when I was in the MAT program here at Western. It sort of started as an album project that Adam was involved in, and a couple other people, Jared Sellner and Grayson Nye. Grayson's also a Western alum. And then we kind of built a live band after we made the first record, and we were a six-piece for a little while and added Matt Milo on bass and Ethan Bausma, another Western alum from the music school, on drums. And we ran as that for a little while, and then we ran as a five-piece for a little while, and then last fall, after our last fall tour, we kind of regrouped and made a bunch of backing tracks, and we're going as this duo with me and Adam.
Yeah, we've been trying to, as best we can, make lots of different ways that we have options for presenting a live show. So right now we're able to play with these fun backing tracks just as a duo and still have it be really engaging, and it's not just a couple of strum bums sitting around. Not that there's anything wrong with that. The music just doesn't lend itself to that all that much. And but the idea is, depending on what we're able to actually afford and the budgets for whatever talent buyers are asking for, we can bring the appropriate kind of crew with us without ever having to look a very good musician in the eye and then hand them $15.
Right. And also, so the idea with the backing tracks is to make sort of very modular sets. And so if they've got some budget, you get the duo. And if you've got another budget, we can add our friend Jaleel Johnson, who lives in town. Mm-hmm. We've been working up on drums to do some trio thing. And if the budget's amazing, heck yeah, you can have a 9-piece band or whatever.
Yeah, so that lends itself a little bit to flexibility to, change things out. Quite the evolution of rotating players you've had.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been very, very lucky to get to work with some incredible players and some really good friends, and throughout it, this is one of my best buds right here, and we've been able to have a really nice journey through the creative and interpersonal landscape that being this band has meant for us, and I'm really, really happy with it.
Absolutely, you're my best friend.
That's so sweet.
We also have a running bit that everyone's in Fake Baseball.
Yeah. By the way, welcome to Fake Baseball.
Yeah, you're in the band now. So.
Oh, yeah.
We're Fake Baseball. Not to be confused with modern baseball.
No, people make that.
Yeah, what people actually get the most confused about is whether or not we are just
Real
baseball. If we just actually are baseball. Fake baseball. Oh, so do you play baseball? Obviously not. We're clearly a band.
Yeah. How did you guys come up with that name?
Well, it's actually a game. Our saxophone player, Jared Sellner, plays, and also Matt Milo,
mm-hmm.
played this game that's actually called Major League Reddit Ball, and explaining it from two people who don't play, it's been kind of a funny way to explaining this over and over again, but it's basically like a numbers guessing game.
It's sort of a way of playing Dungeons and Dragons, but instead of sweeping a dungeon, you are playing a game of baseball. Oh. And everything is set up through random number generation, and but we were always really fascinated with sort of the philosophical implications of this. It's this. I mean, they just kept calling this game fake baseball, and it just became this word that was constantly around until it didn't mean anything. But also, the notion of a game that, like, because it's not baseball, it's all on Reddit. So the notion of a game that is won and lost but never actually played was just
kind of like a band.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
something that just like, yeah, philosophically we found sort of fascinating, and you know, got fixated on it, and eventually decided to name the band after that.
That's perfect. It just works. So how has the sound or the direction of the band grown and changed since it was your capstone project?
It definitely has evolved, but I think that there are certain elements, like through lines, that have remained at the heart of the project since it started. One of those things that I think we like to push the boundaries a little bit. I think we like to write interesting, challenging stuff that we ourselves are happy to listen to. And we yes and each other a lot. And I think that that's sort of a spirit that has remained true for the entirety of the project. But as far as sort of the evolution of stuff, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, well, I think the notion was always to lean into trying to be adventurous while still never straying too far from the notion of it still being pop music. We want, I think, you know, we're both very community minded, and we really want people to be able to sort of get together around this. And I love seeing scenes grow, and, you know, seeing people become friends through their love of a local band. So we never wanted to be too impenetrable, but we always wanted to challenge ourselves and also give people a version of pop music that you're a little less likely to catch. So we you know, take a lot of cues from old progressive rock and a lot of world music, and you know, I've got a classical background, and, you know, try and apply all of these other sensibilities that apply a little bit more nuance than the old rock and roll 3 chords and the truth adage. Not that there's anything at all wrong with that. That's just, you know, not where we felt like our strengths lie. So as far as the way that it's evolved over time, I think that we've gotten just a little bit less abstract. I think that if you were to listen to our first album and then listen to the one that we're currently have in the oven, there's a little less ambient introspection going on, and a little more bombast.
A little more, yeah. I think we've gotten more frenetic.
Yeah.
As time has gone on.
So yeah, we're still not quite in the realm of a party band, because again, there's no such thing as a prog party band, but I think that we're only getting more fun, I guess, would be the most succinct way to put it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's energetic. It makes people want to move. For sure.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, I was kind of like trying to think about like how to describe it, and I was like, it's this balance of, you'll have some soft, gentle instrumentals, and then all of a sudden you'll have like some dissonant, like, you know, saxophone little like riff or breakdown, and then your voice. We were trying to think of like what your voice was like earlier, but we said it reminded us of something, I don't know, like traditional like 40s or like jazz singing.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crewness.
Crew.
Yeah. So I know that I had you compile a playlist for me this evening.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yeah.
I think it's about that time. We should probably get into it, play a couple songs.
Heck yeah.
Nice. Yeah. This was fun to put this together. It's all stuff that we've kind of taken cues from, that we've been really enjoying, and just stuff that we just like. This is, you know, unrelated.
Yeah. I've really been jamming to this playlist, honestly, for the past 3 weeks. I've had a lot of time to actually, like, listen to it. I'm like, it's banger after banger.
We did it.
So, but first up, we have Pretty Ugly by, is it Tierra Whack?
Mm-hmm.
And then Breathers, Young as Clouds by Rubble Bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Wombat Music taking you through the rabbit hole with
Fake baseball.
Fake Baseball, yeah. So, when did you both start writing music?
I think I started writing music when I was in high school, roughly 75 years ago. I got into playing percussion when I was 7 years old, and then starting when I was 13, I kind of learned a new instrument to relative proficiency every year. At least that was my goal for a long time. That has tapered off in the past decade or so considerably, but sort of throughout all of that, a big part of my learning process for myself has always been to just kind of jump on it with both feet and see what squirts out. And so, like, having you always need to make time to develop technique and learn the lessons that are necessary to actually, like, become an instrumentalist on any given thing. But what was always important to me was, the second that I was able to start actively being creative with something that I was learning, I would do it. So I'd say, honestly, probably the first song I ever wrote was when I was 13, 12 or 13. But didn't start, like, really attempting to write songs in a way that I would ever present to somebody until I was just after I dropped out of college, I would say.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
You probably had a lot more time then.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But fewer people to listen to them until you get up on the stage.
I was always a musical kid. I was in choir, and my dad got me a little baby neck guitar when I was like 9, I think, and I learned some chords. But I didn't really get into it until later. I joined my first band when I was 18 or 19 and started writing some bad songs, and then joined another band and kept writing some bad songs, and then joined a third band, and then I started writing some slightly better songs. I would say, you gotta be bad at things, before you're good at things, or
That's crucial.
You have to write worse than what is in your heart and your brain and what you strive to do one day when you're first starting out. But yeah, I didn't really put my nose to the grindstone about guitar or voice really until I was in a very silly punk math rock band called Team 2.
Team 2?
Team 2, yeah.
Like TF2? Or is this different than Team Fortress 2?
Different than Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like kind of a punk house, and there were multiple bands that practiced out of there, and it was the kind of thing that every free moment I would be over there and had an instrument in my hands, and there was always somebody to play with you. There was always somebody who was like, yeah, heck yeah, let's run this thing, or let's jam, or let's write a song. And I feel like I made a lot of strides in those couple years. I don't even know what years those were now. 75 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're living in a creative space like that or around like other musicians, I feel like that just makes it a lot like easier for inspiration to strike.
Or it just makes even just logistics easy, or like having absolutely nothing to do with creativity. We lived together a couple times.
Yeah, a few different houses now.
And yeah, it's really nice to just wake up in the morning in your pajamas and be like, come to the computer, come to the piano.
Yeah,
Y'all want to jam? We're all like in the house anyway.
Right, yeah, especially living in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where the lake effect's going to have you snowed in for the occasional 3-day stints here and there. So having roommates who are down to just get all of the way on coffee with you, and then throw stuff at the wall is really not only fun. I think one thing that's been crucial for me, speaking just for myself, been crucial for my development as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure you definitely get a lot better, quicker, just when you're playing so much, and then adding, different playing styles. It's kind of like cooking with people.
Absolutely.
You know?
I think
yeah.
also you try to surround yourself by people who elevate you in all of these ways,
Yeah, if I can help it, I try and be the worst musician in a room full of musicians as much as I can, just to have examples to follow and ways of people who will challenge me, whether they're doing it on purpose or not.
What are some different ways you complement each other as musicians in your duo?
One big workflow thing that I think we work super well together is that Adam is like a little song machine savant man who can play almost every single instrument, and I'm a professional audio engineer. So we've been, especially with building these backing tracks, it's been like we cruise if I just sit in front of the computer and do engineer, and then Adam will swap, his brain around to be like, okay, we're thinking about replacing these drums with these 4 little pads here, or okay, swap. Let's go think about bass now or something. And not that I don't play anything, but as far as
right, yeah.
as far as some really crucial workflow efficiency stuff, especially with demo stages and building out all of these backing tracks, it's been so nice to lean on Adam's just versatility and lean on my sort of technical prowess, I guess.
Yeah, having Maggie be able to just like, oh, that's an idea that you had, well, now it's a song that exists.
Right.
Is really, really cool. But I think also just from a sensibility standpoint, I think that we complement each other a lot, because I'll have an idea for a song, maybe I write it on guitar, maybe I write it on piano or whatever, and it will undergo infinite transformations if there's nobody there to say, stop, it's fine, Adam, it's a good song, quit it. It needs a bridge, that's all, chill out. Because I will just keep rewriting the same song for years. There's a couple of tunes on this record that we're working on right now that have seeds from a decade ago for me. That through actually like presenting them to Maggie, and we consciously took the time as a duo to like finalize lyrics with them and put together a form and to select a key. That's another one. Having such having a great singer who I can trust with these melodies that I have makes it so that I finally pick a key for the song to be in. Isn't that novel?
Like, let's put it in Maggie's range.
Exactly.
Find something that works.
Because I can just sit and agonize over these abstract ideas ad infinitum, and Maggie's really good at reining in the bull.
Yeah.
I also think other than just the saying no to stuff things, I think that our tastes just align, and maybe the 80% Venn diagram or something.
Yeah.
And that extra 20 is like really interesting, and it pulls you closer to stuff that maybe I wouldn't have listened to or been exposed to or whatever. And so I don't know, we're both just excited about music most of the time, whether it's stuff that we're writing or something that we've listened to or whatever. And I think that we really enjoy talking about music, and we really enjoy talking too much about music. And so I think that we just kind of yes and each other, and it never really gets boring or anything. There's always a new song to write.
Yeah. Kind of completing each other's musical phrases in a way. And you can kind of help keep Adam's perfectionism in check a little bit, but then also maybe Adam, you speak the language like super fluently, but then Maggie, you're the translator who's able to like hear that, and you're like, oh yeah, well digitally, we're gonna make it happen.
One thing that I love that you do that I've never met anyone else who does quite as well is give a take suggestion that has absolutely nothing to do with a suggestion of technique or something like that,
Yeah.
but it's still the perfect suggestion.
By take, you mean somebody playing something in a studio?
Yeah.
An individual
You'll be
attempt
like,
at something?
yeah, like, and this next one, do it like you're on lava, but you also have a nice ice cream sundae coming for you when you get off the lava.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I mean, yeah. Well, we use music to take abstract things and use that to convey intellectual things. So having something to kind of like jolt yourself and something to focus on can really do a lot for the way somebody can approach the way that they would play something. And yeah, we like to do that for each other in dedicate make this one dedicate this one to all the dudes named Lindsay or whatever. And that it's good to just like get you out of your head as a player in the studio, so you can kind of feel in the moment, but it does sometimes actually inform what you're trying to do. I remember hearing an interview with Stevie Ray Vaughan when I was younger, and he was talking about these different like blues and country licks on the guitar. And he's like, listen to this, that sounds like a horse walking, and that's what it's there to convey. Is like, this isn't a horse walking, this is a guitar being, playing three strings at a time. But the sort of music as Foley art for the world around us, both literally and emotionally, I think is a big part of certainly what inspires me. So yeah, that's something that I try to employ when we're in a studio setting, is try to like make sure you're scoring a little movie in their head whenever they're making the music. I think that's important, personally.
It sounds like your creative process is pretty collaborative then?
Yeah. Every single thing that we end up putting out, even if somebody wrote pretty much the majority of the song, I'd say has a lot of both of our identity on it, and we talk about it to death. So
yeah, even tunes that we write individually will still be like informed by conversations that we have together.
And then other songs, we work on together. Somebody might have a kernel for something, but we, the bridge didn't happen until we were both in the same room trying ideas or something like that. But as far as like ownership stuff, I think it's more about everybody feeling happy with the output. Everybody's happy with the final product. Everybody is happy with all of the decisions that we've made kind of the whole time, the whole process. So that's a lot easier to do when there's only, 2 brains instead of 6.
Yeah, that's really important too, making sure that you're on the same page with everything. So, all right. I know we got a lot of songs to play.
Oh yeah,
let's
keep
play a
it
couple more
rolling.
here. We got "Can't Keep Checking My Phone" by Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and then "Dead Man's Party" by Oingo Boingo.
Hello.
Hello.
It is us.
Fake baseball.
Love that tune.
Yeah, we used to cover that tune. We love Danny Elfman.
Yeah, huge influence on me, Danny Elfman, and specifically work with that band. Their guitarist Steve Bartek is definitely a style that I cop an awful lot. And little trivia: Steve Bartek is actually Danny Elfman's arranger nowadays for his film score stuff. So they're still working together like they were back in '86 when that record came out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. You said possibly, maybe one day in the future, an Oingo Boingo Halloween cover set?
That's definitely on a very long and ambitious list of things that we constantly talk about how cool it would be if we could do it.
It would be really cool, but it would also be challenging. So yeah, we'll just dangle that carrot out into the ether for the next couple of years.
Right, yeah. If anybody wants to sponsor an Oingo Boingo cover set by Fake Baseball.
Bells.
Who said that?
Val, are you here?
Yeah, so before the year 2050, be on the lookout for the Oingo Boingo
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So how did you guys pick the music for tonight for the playlist?
We kind of tossed out a lot of things that both of us got obsessed with over the past handful of years. And some things that we felt like, especially, at the beginning seedlings of this project, were big inspiration things. We listened to one Rubble Bucket song tonight. Rubble Bucket is one of our favorite bands. Back before this started, I came to Adam and I basically pitched starting some type of band that sounded like Rubble Bucket. That was kind of the very first thing I said.
And I said, say less. And then we started a band that ended up being a lot more like Rubble Bucket than we'd intended.
That is true. Rubble Bucket kind of started as this big 8-piece kind of Afrobeat, exciting party band thing. And now they're running they brand and market themselves as a duo. They do hire some people for some shows, and they're playing with backing tracks now, so we didn't mean for that to happen, but we did sort of follow them a little bit.
Yeah, art imitating life, imitating art, imitating life.
You said the band has like really high production value, like from when you went to go see them, like from the costumes to like the music. So do you think you'd ever try and do any weird like set pieces or
for sure
theming
absolutely
shows?
yeah I mean, as with anything, it's everything is budget is often prohibitive,
and time.
but and time, of course, but yeah, I definitely, while I get players and specifically musicians who really value not having that much presentation as being at the core of what's happening and just letting the music speak for itself. And there's a lot of styles of music where that certainly makes more sense, and a lot of sensibilities around that make a lot of sense. And I don't yuck anybody's yum for having that notion, but I also think that it's like it's when you can stay at home and listen to a record and have it be perfect.
Yeah.
If if people are coming out to see your show, A, they're there for the high wire act. They a little bit want to watch you mess up. And B, they want to see how you back up those ideas and that musicianship with your presentation. So I think I've always been a proponent of light costuming, at least when playing a show, not just to be reverent to the fact that people came out and
paid money.
Yeah, paid money. It's a sign of respect for people's time, but also like who doesn't like seeing somebody in a very smart vest and some colorful eye makeup.
I also think it does. You treat yourself seriously at the same time as treating yourself not very seriously, right? And I think that that's this nice balance of presenting yourself in this very genuine way, but it's a genuine thing that this is your job. You came to work, right? So you dressed for it and you presented yourself like you're supposed to be on the stage. So, and that's not true for every single show. If you're playing a coffee shop, you probably don't need to go full glam.
Yeah, but like they say, you dress for the job you want, and if you see us live, then apparently I want to be a magician from '87.
Yeah. I will say your performances do feel a little theatrical, as in you're definitely expressive, and Maggie, I will say you have some very expressive facial expressions.
Oh yeah, my eyes are the whole show.
I'm just gonna say it, and Maggie, you didn't fish for this. Those are the best eyebrows in the game. Look at them. Everybody in this room, look at these eyebrows right now. Come on.
You guys can't see because this is the radio.
You do have the best eyebrows. Like I was watching back like a little video I took at one of your performances, and I was like, man, like I'm just entranced.
Honestly, it is like the comment I get more often than like nice playing or you sounded good. It's like your eyes are crazy.
Yeah, Maggie, I promise you have a beautiful singing voice.
Thank you.
And maybe a little bit of crazy eyes, but
That's
hey,
fine.
it's
That's-
a part of the bit.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
both theater kids. There's no hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, we only got a half hour left, but we might have to stretch it because we're going to get to all these songs, and it's fine. I don't think anybody's coming in after us. So, next up, we got Pressure by My Brightest Diamond, and then Mouth's Cradle by Bjork. You're listening to 89.1 WIDR FM. And this is Wombat Music, almost at the bottom of the rabbit hole, with
Fake Coldplay, fake baseball.
Doctor School.
Dr. School, one of those things.
No, we are fake baseball. My name is Adam. This is my Aunt Maggie.
It's true, he's my nephew. People get confused that we're dating sometimes, so just to clear that up.
We tell other lies.
Wait, are you actually like
No.
cousins? Or
No, but we are also not dating.
True.
For the
Yeah,
we
not
okay. That's good. I'm glad we cleared the air. I was definitely concerned. No. So have you ever played any other roles in the music scene in Kalamazoo?
Yeah. I've been in bands in Kalamazoo consistently for coming up on about 20 years now. I started in town in a ska band called Nice Try back in the day, and have been most of my career I've been primarily a drum set player. I have been consistently working with different acts kind of ever since then. I was in the go-rounds for about 13, 14 years. I'm actually this weekend going to be tracking drums with Elizabeth Pixley Fink in Detroit. And I've got a standing Monday night residency playing drums for an organ trio at the Stamped Robin every Monday night. We're called Mr. Radar.
And they are hot. It is very fun. It is a wonderfully fun time. So if you got nothing going on,
it's becoming there's a bit of a little scene kind of brewing up around it, which has been really fun.
It's very fun. It's we've mentioned him a couple times just because he was involved with fake baseball, but our friend Jared Sellner plays saxophone and guitar, and him and Adam do a little singing, and Adam plays drums, and then Doug Decker is this shredder organ player in town.
Like doing the old style, like Hammond B3, like playing all the bass lines with his feet kind of stuff.
Yeah, he keeps the panel off of it so you can watch his feet. It's very good. They're wonderful. It's super fun. Similar thing, yeah, I've played in some stuff. I've only lived in Kalamazoo about half that time, so about 10 years this spring. Played in a handful of projects that are dead now. Currently, I play with a Grand Rapids band called Bedroom Ceilings. I'm in a very, very silly surf rock band called Shark Beach 2. I've been recently taking some gigs, and I'm going to play this summer with Grace Tyson. It's been an awesome project to work with. Do a little subbing here and there for Elizabeth and some other projects.
And also, do you help out with La Luna Studios? I thought I remember hearing that you were, do you help like mix or record over there?
Yeah, I am primarily a tracking and mixing engineer at La Luna. I've worked there for just shy of 8 years, I think, or 7.5 or something. And I love it there. It's just Ian Gorman, a studio owner and head engineer, has done just such an amazing job at curating a really comfortable, vibey space. And I think that when you're shopping around for studios, yes, you care about the gear, and yes, you care about the engineer, and yes, you care about these sort of other things, but having a place where you feel really comfortable, I think it should be a high priority, because that's when people are actually going to perform their best.
Yeah, shout out to Ian Gorman.
Yeah, shout out to Ian.
Putting that together. Local legend.
Dude,
Ian
sound
Gorman.
wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a giant mentor. I've grown a lot during my time there.
So do you remember your first show you attended in Kalamazoo, or the first show that you played?
First show that I played in Kalamazoo would have been with that ska band Nice Try at the now long since defunct Craft Brow Brewery. I would have been 19, and they probably wish that they had known that in retrospect. But yeah, it's in the building that is currently Old Dog. Was Craft Brow Brewing, and yeah, I was in there playing the drums way too loud. As a relative youngster.
I came to Kalamazoo twice before I lived here for shows. I can't remember one of them. It was sort of a bigger band. And then another one was a go-around show that I ended up, like, breaking a rib because I fell on the ice on my walk
right.
home.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, Maggie and I actually met via Maggie seeing my old band playing in different places. And what was it? You didn't have enough money for a CD?
I didn't have enough money, and I thought I had money, and so I was like, I think it was Bliss Fest was when I met you, and I was blown away. I loved the band. I came to talk to them after, and I, like, grabbed the wrong bag from our campsite or something. So I had my friend's little tiny wad of, like, $4, and I thought that I had my wallet. And so I had asked for a t-shirt, and he gave me this t-shirt. We went through the size, and we picked the thing, and I would, like, go to hand him money, and I have none. It's, like, so embarrassing.
Yeah,
and Adam was like, oh...
Well,
just show like 10 people the record.
Yeah,
and we'll call it even.
That was the deal that we struck, was you can't pay for the T-shirt and the album. I'll tell you what, the album's on me, but you got to show it to a bunch of people.
Yeah, and I did.
And then we became good buds.
The rest is history.
More or less.
All right, let's play a couple more songs here, and then we'll unfortunately have to say goodnight, but not yet. And this is Wombat Music. We're at the bottom of the rabbit hole with Fake Baseball here.
Hi.
We're going to keep it rolling a little bit longer because there's just some more questions I have. And I can't end it here, you know. We got to... So.
Lay it on me, doctor.
So, how did you get involved in, like, the Kalamazoo music scene here to start off with? Like, playing shows. What was that like?
Let the old answer.
Yeah,
first.
the old can go first on this one. Age before beauty, as they say. I moved here from Battle Creek when I was 19 years old, and I had already been in a couple of bands throughout high school and just out of high school, and sort of, you know, I was initially getting prerequisites for going to music school done at Valley, and after talking to a few elder statesmen of the Kalamazoo music scene and honestly a couple of advisors, I sort of made the decision that as far as the way I wanted my music career to actually look, I was going to be better served by just getting out there and playing shows and playing as many shows as I possibly could. And I think I've consistently done no fewer than between 60 and 110 shows a year since then. And, you know, the scene, and we're talking, 2006, 2007 here. The scene in Kalamazoo, it had the benefit of COVID having not happened to it yet. So even though it was always kind of a pendulum, and it would have booms and busts, it would never fully bust. There was always a really strong DIY basement show scene, and a lot of intermingling between genres and a super wide array of players and genres of music, and it was a really, really special place. So, it's easy for me to want to stick with it. And I feel like and that spirit definitely still exists in this town. There just isn't the same kind of infrastructure, and also just the way that people take in music nowadays puts a little bit less of a premium on these live shows. Why would somebody come spend their beer money to watch me play when they can see Hamilton for free at home? But there is still that hunger that is out there for people, musicians and non-musicians alike. But yeah, there were just, at the time, 7 days a week there would be some show happening somewhere. There were a lot more actual club venues. There were, at no point in time were there fewer than 10 super active DIY basement show venues. And then you had, the State Theater and Bells and these places doing these bigger production things. So there was just a lot more opportunity at the time for especially a band that was less established to get a little momentum and grow a fan base and be part of the community. And again, I want to stress that I don't think that that's gone now. It just doesn't benefit like it used to from support of venues, really, more than anything.
Well, like you intimated there, I mean, the pandemic really kind of destroyed most of our access to the mid-sized venue in town. Again, there's not none, but compared to even 5-10 years ago, it's just drastically different. And the house show scene is also, maybe we're just old and so we know of less of them or something.
That is for sure part of it.
That is definitely part of it.
But it used to be you didn't have to be in the know to
stumble upon stuff.
It used to be you could walk outside on a Thursday in the Vine neighborhood and just follow the two loud drums and just walk around, and you'd just see swaths of people making their way into a house, and like it was never like it was going to be weird. I would go to shows and there would be, like people who are underage getting X's put on their hands so that like they're covering themselves legally at these house venues where they can probably get away with a lot. And at the same show there'd be, this dude's in his 60s, like here's some hippies, here's some punks. All just being really pumped on the fact that there was community music happening, and that it was so, we really took it for granted at the time in a big way. And
it makes you really absolutely super appreciate the stuff that is trying now in the midst of it being really hard to support financially. I mean,
yeah, there's some acts operating in Kalamazoo right now that are as good or better as anybody who was on the scene back then. There's just less for them to do, and fewer avenues for them to really make stuff happen.
Yeah.
Which really is just as a result of venues not really being able to invest in it or justify investing in it the way that they used to. But yeah, Kalamazoo is a very, very special place for artistic types.
Kalamazoo loves art.
Have you been on tour before?
Yeah. We've toured. We've done a handful of tours as Fake Baseball with the larger band. But my primary job for most of my late 20s and early 30s was touring drummer with the Go Rounds. Went all over the country and did 5 or 6 tours in Mexico as well. And I did once a 6-week tour playing Rhodes piano with a folk solo artist that went by Small Houses. I've been that's been a consistent part of my life for most of my adult life, is at any given point in time, I'm involved with at least one project that will probably tour if isn't touring at that very moment. We're going to go on more tours.
We're going on more tours. We're going to go on more tours. We're going to go on some type of tour when we release this next record. That's also been part of the idea of trying to reduce to using tracks or be able to play as a duo or a trio or something. It's just the ability to actually have a tour be anywhere closer to lucrative.
Yeah. Not
it's
have
hard to travel with like an 8-piece band.
It's
in
really
the band.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and keep everybody fed and happy and paid and places to sleep and people to hang out with when you don't know anybody in a space and fed. And so it's we're trying to keep ourselves as pliable as possible so that like if we do decide to book a tour but we've only got coffee shops that are offering us we'll put up the tip jars, we can justify that as a duo. We can make that work, and we still like love traveling and love performing, and the scope doesn't matter as much to us. Obviously we'd love to do more and do it bigger, and eventually we're going to, but
the scope is painful when you've got 3 or 4 other people that you're not paying. It's, we can eat poo, as they say, or whatever, but
yeah, they say that.
That's a different word. This is the radio.
but yeah, being able to it's a little bit more like we're just investing in ourselves and not making anybody else have to invest in us as much.
Yeah.
What do you think sets the Kalamazoo? Actually, I think we're gonna play the last song, and then with the anticipation, we'll talk about the last few questions here.
Okay, cool.
You're listening to 89.1 WIDR FM, and this is Through the Rabbit Hole with Fake Baseball. We're still in here.
It's us for Fake Baseball.
We're embedded now, baby.
We're still rolling. I just had a few last questions for you guys before we wrap it up here and say goodnight and have to endure the cold walk home. So what do you think sets the Kalamazoo scene different, apart from, or what is different about Kalamazoo versus when you were playing in other cities?
I'd say Kalamazoo is one of the most communicative music scenes I have ever witnessed, but certainly ever been a part of. Everybody wants everybody to know about everything that's going on, and it's just such an awesome attitude and mentality. I actually moved here from Detroit, and I really loved so many things about Detroit. I loved it. It's just like this Rust Belt kind of everybody's doing whatever they want, weird anarchy place. But I felt like there was no communication about the cool stuff that was happening. It was like you would stumble into a show on a Monday or Tuesday night or something, and it would be the coolest band you've ever heard, and they'd be shredding, and you'd be floored, and there would be 5 people and the sound guy there. And then you'd talk to them after the show, and they would be like, yeah, there wasn't an event page, there were no flyers made, we didn't do any radio promo, there was nothing. There was absolutely zero community-based shout-outs to try to get, and this wasn't one show, right? It was just sort of this common vibe of the space. No shade to Detroit. I would try again. I'm just saying, when I moved here from there, it was this brilliantly contrasting difference of, every single person is talking about this cool art thing that's going on in town.
Yeah, the art scene in Kalamazoo, especially performance-based stuff, music in particular, there's a lot of civic pride, I think, that goes a long way for keeping it afloat. Musicians in Kalamazoo are so pumped to be a musician in Kalamazoo, and are proud of the fact that the scene is thriving, whether it's for like through them or not. Like people like Maggie was saying, like want to let other people know about what's going on, and it's not just because it's like their show and they hope people are showing up. Like there have been plenty of times that I'll be talking to somebody on a night when I've got to work or I'm going to go out of town or something, and I'll make sure to let them know about a show that I heard about happening that night. And that's like not me going out of my way to try and be extra cool. That's something that I learned like as a knee-jerk reaction that I picked up from just being in this town for so long. That's just the vibe that we have here. Everybody wants to see the scene thrive because, you know, rising tide lifts all boats or whatever, as they say.
You got something in your throat hole there?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite house show you've played in Kalamazoo? Looking back.
Oh man, there's just been the house show scene is this thing that ebbs and flows, and something will rise in the wake of something, you know, not being available anymore. And a big part of that is just because, you know, there's, like Adam said earlier, there's a lot of colleges here, and so there's a lot of student changeover every 4 years or whatever. You'll get sort of fresh blood and new creativity and new projects into town. And everybody's kind of renting, and so everybody's moving, doing the Kalamazoo shuffle every summer, changing their houses and stuff. But it's funny, when you've lived here a long time, you start to see certain houses just like become house venues because they have the infrastructure.
Right,
to
because
do
because
so.
the basement's just the right shape, and you know every third person who's gonna tour that place when, you know, in September or whatever,
You're like, oh, you
is gonna
could
be
have
like, we
shows
could
down
totally
here.
do a show down here. So yeah, I've seen a handful of different houses over the years just kind of like become venues at different times, just with different names, and it's
then-
different people running them.
Yeah,
It's not the
you'll
same.
get like old hats come to the show and be like, oh, I remember when this used to be called whatever, you know. But one really special one gets a shout out. I'd say Millhouse gets a shout out.
Millhouse was a big deal for its time. It's
I don't remember
not
exactly how many years it was a thing. I think like
it was something like 8 years, something along those lines.
very long-standing house venue.
And there was just the community around it, and with that, the vibe that any show that would go on there would have, regardless of who was on the bill or what the attitude of the performers was going to be. There was just this understanding of what mood you're going to be in when you're in this basement, and what level of respect you're going to show the performers, and what level of respect they're going to show the audience. So yeah, I guess I don't have any one show from that spot that I can think of as particularly standing out, because every time I played there and every time I attended a show there, it was exactly what it needed to be. So yeah, absolutely love the Millhouse. Shout out to all of those now old people.
Old.
All right. Last but not least, can you tell us a little bit about what the future for this project holds? What do you have coming up? Recording?
We got our record coming out. We're working so very hard at it. Maggie's an absolute wizard at the box, rocking the box, keeping the workflow going, and producing the record. And like we were saying earlier, we've been divvying up the artistic, the creative roles with the workflow that we've come to be accustomed with. And this one's largely just the two of us. We've brought in, you know, a handful of players, some old players who have worked with us before, some a few new folks, but you know, it's almost everything you're going to hear on this record is something that one of us played, and certainly something that the two of us wrote together. And we're really pumped about it. I think that we've kind of turned a corner as far as the distillation of our sound and exactly what the fake baseball sound is, and I'm really pumped about it.
Same. I'm very pumped about it too. We're making a full length. It's gonna be 10 songs. Our first record was a full length, and then we had a short little EP called The Goods, which was 4 songs, and then we came out with a single. So it's been a significant amount of time since we were like, okay, let's take on the the big boy project again here, and it's been nice. I don't know if there's anything. The long-term goals are the things that I think you turn around and feel like, oh, heck yeah, like real fulfillment on the other side of putting something out. I think that creatives kind of fall into 2 camps where you either really love the process or you like the output. And if you love one of them way too much, your art suffers. If you really love the process, you never put anything out. And if you really love putting things out, sometimes you like, there's something lacking, right? That needed to cook a little longer. And so I think that we have, this has been cooking, and we are at the point where everything actually, the vision is there, even if we've got to finish some stuff, but it feels full. It feels good. Like I'm back to very, very excited, which it's hard to be excited when you're like, all right, 2 years from now we'll do something and we'll put it out or something like that.
Yeah, so we're probably going to start in the spring, releasing tunes as singles leading up to the full length coming out, likely sometime late summer. But one thing that's extra exciting about the process on working on this record is, it was kind of a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. So as a result of our process with it, we have almost a second record's worth of stuff that aren't making it onto this. That once we go through this album cycle and do a little bit of time touring and promoting this one, and let ourselves breathe for maybe 1 month.
1 week.
Yeah. Then we're just going to jump right back in and work on the next project. And we've already got most of that material in the bank. And we're really, really excited to be able to just utilize the momentum that we get from all of the support that we've been getting for people who, fans and friends have been super supportive of us. And I think that if we can continue our output to honor ourselves and our process, but also just the people who are supporting us, I think that we've got a lot to cook up the next couple of years.
So when is it looking like you'd have the possible next tour?
Probably the fall. I'm actually having some knee problems and potentially need surgery, and so
we should have parked closer to the studio.
Kind of brand new development. So we were talking about doing a fall tour, but there's a little flexibility and wiggle room because we don't know exactly what the next couple months are going to look like.
Yeah,
but.
And that's also part of why we're looking at probably mid or late summer to drop the record. We probably would be trying to get it out a little sooner than that, but we want to be able to play shows to promote it and celebrate it with the people who are interested. So can't do that with Maggie in a cast.
No.
No. So
I won't be in a cast though.
Whoa. Maybe when I'm done with you toots.
Whenever it's ready, we are ready to experience it.
Oh, thank you. I hear it.
All right. So, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been awesome.
Thank you so much for having us. I'm really happy it could happen. Sorry for all of the rescheduling and everything, but thank you.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Nice hanging.
You made it work, and maybe when the next record drops or you're on the tour, we could chat again sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd check in.
Come back.
Yeah, we'll for sure let you know when we're ready to start dropping singles, and maybe we can come in and bend your ear about it a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. This has been Through the Rabbit Hole with Fake Baseball. Now, I think to end the evening, we should actually play some fake baseball.
Ooh.
So I got your Spotify held up here. Yeah, Spotify, I know it sucks. Whatever.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah. What song would you like our listeners to hear?
Dang.
What doesn't swear?
What doesn't swear is the question. I think that the people might enjoy hearing the song "Sign 'Em," which is our most recent single that we dropped. And barring that, probably the song "Opposition." I think people, between the two of those, you can get a pretty good understanding of what we're out here up to.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to cue up Sign 'Em and then Opposition.
Ooh, double header.
All right. Well, here's some fake baseball for you. I know you've been waiting all night for this, so we got Sign 'Em and then Opposition. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Through the Rabbit Hole.
Love you, Kalamazoo.